at all-time favorite music hits. Sa lungkot at ligaya, kami pa rin ang inyong kasama. We're the place where you truly belong. Mula sa TVH Group of Networks, ito ang inyong himpilan. Ito ang inyong tahanan. Number 1 sa Mega Manila. This is koolNews Primetime.
Good evening, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. This is koolNews Primetime. It is now 10:31 p.m. and we are live on Kool FM and News Radio 93.1. Let's begin with our headlines tonight. Oblong Katok, a door-to-door crackdown against illegal firearms, is a lawful and proactive initiative to ensure responsible gun ownership contrary to claims that it enforces political intimidation amid the poll period. The Philippine National Police Chief, General Romel Marbel, made the assurance in a statement on Sunday, pointing out that the program complies with the Comprehensive Firearms and Immunization Regulation Act. Marbel said, Revitalized Katok is a year-round initiative to ensure firearm holders comply with the law. It is not and will never be used for political purposes. The PNP is simply implementing Republic Act No. 10591 or the Comprehensive Firearms and Immunization Regulation Act, which mandates the periodic renewal of firearm licenses. Under the law, firearm owners must renew their license to own and process firearms and firearm registration every 10 or 5 years, depending on their chosen option. Failure to comply can result in the revocation of their privilege to own firearms and possible confiscation, as the PNP is the principal regulatory body overseeing firearm ownership, he added. Under the initiative, Marbel explained that police officers would deliver formal notice and conduct house visits to remind gun owners with expired license to renew them or surrender their firearms. This ensures that legitimate firearms do not become unaccounted for or fall into the wrong hands. It is one of the best practices of the PNP in accounting and reminding firearm holders about their obligations under the law, the statement read. Marbel added that claims that the program might be used during the election period were unfounded and speculative. He said there is no factual basis to claim that this program is meant to instill fear. We have been implementing Revitalized Katok for years, long before the election season. There is no agenda, no political bias, and no intimidation involved. Our reminders are purely legal and procedural, targeting only those with expired firearm license. Nothing more, nothing less, Marbel further explained. Last January 21, poll watchdog Contra Daya said that the initiative was unnecessary and might even have a chilling effect on the public. Contra Daya conveyor Danilao Arao said there's no legitimate reason to go house to house. Or if they want to do house to house, they have to follow the due process. There has to be a very, very clear search warrant. There is a chilling effect whenever the police, unintentional or not, would suddenly visit our supposed safe places. So there should be other ways for the police to secure or implement peace and order, he added. Meanwhile, election lawyer Romulo Macalintal has urged President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to appoint a Commission on Elections or COMELEC commissioner recommended by the opposition, citing concerns over the poll body's independence following recent Supreme Court orders. There appears to be an urgent need for President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to appoint a commissioner of the Commission on Elections recommended by the opposition parties to restore, if not maintain, the confidence of the people in the poll body, Macalintal said in a statement on Sunday. This call follows the Supreme Court's issuance of temporary restraining orders against COMELEC's rulings in both disqualification cases, raising concerns about how the full body handles electoral disputes. According to Makalintal, former Chief Justice Artemio Panganiban also criticized COMELEC, saying he could not recall any past commission committing as many gravely abusive acts again and again and again on practically the same ground, the failure to observe the basic constitutional rights to due process and equal protection of the laws. Makalintal also stressed that appointing an opposition-backed commissioner could help ensure impartiality and prevent further erosion of public trust in the electoral system. The election lawyer said it is important that our people be fully informed of the reasons why and how such alleged abusive acts are committed by and be voted for, the election lawyer said. And this could only be done and ensured with a COMELEC commissioner recommended by the opposition, who could be the first, he added. Makalintal also pointed out that the late President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. appointed an opposition-endorsed COMELEC commissioner in 1984, a move that his son could follow to promote fairness and transparency. While COMELEC Chairman George Aaron Garcia has suggested appointing commissioners with the agency, Makalintal argued that external election lawyers should also be considered. We also have a lot of young and competent and practicing election lawyers who are as knowledgeable and experienced in the field of election law practice who could decide cases with full integrity and honesty, he concluded. Meanwhile, the Philippine Coast Guard has dispatched two of its vessels to address the illegal presence of two Chinese ships in waters of Pangasinan. According to PCG spokesperson for the West Philippine Sea, Comrade J. Torella, they deployed two 44-meter vessels, BRP Cabra MRRV 4409 and BRP Barangay MRRV 4410. He also said that PCG Island aircraft was likewise dispatched and had already issued a radio challenge against Chinese Coast Guard vessels 3201 and 3104, which were last spotted approximately 34 nautical miles off the coast of Pangasinan through the PCG's Dark Vessel Detection Program. At around 9:30 a.m. today, the PCG aircraft confirmed the illegal presence of the China Coast Guard vessels, identified by bow numbers 3301 and 3104. Notably, the CCG vessels did not respond to the radio challenge issued by the PCG, Torella said. Currently, two PCG vessels, BRP Cabra and BRP Barangay MRRV 4410, both 44-meter ships, have been dispatched to Bolinao, Pangasinan to address the illegal presence of the China Coast Guard, he added. Moreover, he said the PCG vessels reminded the CCG that their presence is illegal, reinforcing the Philippine government's position against the normalization of illegal patrols within the country's exclusive economic zone. And beyond vision, improving education calls for sustained decisive action, particularly substantial increases in funding. Senator Legarda expressed this point at the launching at the Senate last Tuesday of the year to report EDCOM-2, the second Congressional Commission on Education, of which she is a commissioner. The report is titled Fixing the Foundations, a Matter of National Survival. The four-term senator said, "Today is about a vision, one that is deliberate, informed, and firmly centered on the Filipino learner." The launch of EDCOM-2's Year 2 report marks the culmination of rigorous study and insightful analysis by the Commission and various stakeholders to uncover the realities of our education system and design a transformative roadmap that secures a future for every Filipino child, defined by opportunity, equality, and excellence in education. Where do the cracks in our foundation lie, and how can we strengthen, not merely to stand firm, but to bear the weight of our children's biggest and boldest dreams, Legarda added. She emphasized the importance of education as the base upon which innovation, peace, justice, and sustainable development could be built. The report reveals urgent gaps in the education system. Only 25% of Filipino children meet the recommended energy intake between ages 6 and 12 months. There are deficiencies in foundational competencies emerging as early as grade 3. Up to 50% of the school year is lost due to disruptions such as natural disasters. And 55% of public schools lack fully designated school principals. The report also calls for a fundamental shift in priorities to address these challenges, focusing on early childhood education and nutrition to build critical competencies while ensuring that schools have skilled leadership, sufficient personnel, adequate classrooms, and essential resources. Lagarde said, today we shift our focus to solutions. We must ensure that the recommendations in this report do not remain ink on paper, but translate into real lasting change and are driven by collective action. Every sector, from government to private partners, from educators to household members, must play a role in shaping a stronger education system for all. She emphasized that education reform requires a multi-sectoral approach, calling for unified and strategic action from government agencies, local government units, the private sector, international partners, civil society organizations, indigenous communities, and community-based organizations. In this way, they could build an inclusive and equitable education system, recognizing that strengthening disaster preparedness, public health, workforce development, cultural preservation, poverty reduction, and peace building is essential to ensuring effective and sustainable learning for all. This is koolNews Primetime. It is now 10:41 p.m. and we will return with more news headlines right here on koolNews Primetime. We will be right back after the short break.
This koolNews edition was brought to you by People's Bank. Equal banking for the Filipino people. People's Bank of the Philippines is a member of Crosslink and supervised by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Soda Pop, now with flavors of strawberry, blueberry, green apple, raspberry, and more. Starting at 39 pesos. Soda Pop, pop the party with flavor, where every sip is a celebration. Dunkin', pasalubong ng bayan. UNC, moving it for Filipinos since 1969. McDonald's, featuring their McSavers Sulit Busog meals, starting at 99 pesos in all stores nationwide. Prices may vary. And QBA Telecom's all-new Area Saya 30, now with 10 gigabytes access to Mobile Legends, PUBG Mobile, Call of Duty, Wild Rift, Cookie Run Kingdom, and Clash Royale for 7 days. QBA Telecom, connecting every Filipino story.
All your Asian favorites. Kasama ka namin dyan. All your favorite anime songs with 100% Asen with Gyro. Weekends, 11 a.m.
You know that then it's about your baby.
Paboritong K-pop music? Nandito lahat yan sa K-Music with Lisa Mangubat. Weekends, 4:30 p.m.
Bring the pain like this stop crank venom, this stop crank venom, this stop crank venom. Get 'em, get 'em, get 'em. You say I wanna dance, the music's got me going nuts.
Kasama ka namin dito sa Cool FM. Ang iyong himpilan, ang iyong tahanan. Number 1 sa Mega Manila.
You're listening to Cool FM.
Number 1 sa Mega Manila.
Nationwide pa!
Ako po, si Rafi Tulfo, at CIS Party List. Ang tanging party list na kakampi ng inapi. Subok na at tunay na masasandalan magpakailanman. Number 68 sa balota. Saan ka pa? At CIS Party List ka na. Tara na!
Good morning, Miss Grace. Tell me about yourself.
Hello po. So, graduate po ko sa bungi, major in bungi, magna cum bungi. Ako po ay very bungi worker. And I think I can be a great bungi to this company.
Tulad ka ba ni Grace na mas pansin ang bungi kaysa sa credentials?
Miss Bungi, Grace, sa ngayon wala kaming opening. We'll get back to you na lang, ha?
Kung ikaw rin ay may bungi prob sa job hunting, maaari kang mabigyan ng Polydent ng libreng postiso sa Oplan Balikngiti program. Go to polydentbalikngiti.com now.
Tol, tol, tol! Tol, tol, tol!
Aquino, Senador.
Problema sa prostate? Ikonsulta sa doktor yan at tumumar ng Markup Capsule Food Supplement araw-araw sapagkat nagtataglay ito ng Sopalmeto Extract na ayon sa mga eksperto ng Sopalmeto ay nakatutulong sa problema ng prostate ng kalalakihan. Kaya mag-Markup Capsule Food Supplement araw-araw para always kang ready.
Mama, daming time sa lahat ng gusto nyo. Mama, daming time. Champion detergent ang gamit ko. Champion na!
Sa Champion Quick Wash Technology, less time sa lavada, more time sa pamilya.
Basta't kapit bisig, kakayanin ang lahat. Kayong aming bayani, walang magagawa kung walang manggagawa. Pinoy workers, Pinoy workers. 122, tandaan, 122. Pinoy workers, Pinoy workers, Pinoy workers. 122, tandaan, kayot Pinoy, lakas Pinoy.
Abante Vista Party List number 35. Number 35 Vista Party List.
Barbie, pinapahid mo na naman yung Silka Lotion. Anong meron dyan?
Girl, may papaya enzymes and NutriBlend complex to.
Taray, may papaya. Tinola ka, girl?
Ay, sis! Ang Silka may Vita-Absorb technology at SPF 6 din. SPF? Super Papaya Fruit? Sun Protection Factor kasi, friend! Kahit under the sun, skin ay lit with regular use.
Wow! Slay it!
Slay it with a skin na gigs! Stay lit with Silka with regular use for only 750 pesos SRP.
Ania, ang usa sa mga nakasulay og naayo sa iBerry.
Hello! Ako si Lourdes, usa ka fruit vendor. Naadi ay ko katarata. Ingon si Doc, ipa-opera na. Utsenta milk, di ko oy, mahal kaayo. Nagsulay ko aning iBerry. Nawala ang panganod og blurred sa akong pananaw. Murag na ay mantika sa akong mata. Epektibo sa daw ni sa katiguangan. Sa dihang nag-iBerry ko, wala na katong panganod sa akong mata. Ug wala madayon ang paopera. Salamat sa iBerry.
iBerry papalit sa Mercury, Rose Pharmacy og sa inyong mga suking butika.
Casino Ethyl Alcohol. Sa proteksyon ng pamilya, di kailangang mahal. Casino Ethyl Alcohol kills up to 99.9% of germs based on representative germs tested with good scent sa presyong sulit. Trusted na, save pa sa bulsa. Yes to good vibes. Yes to good scent. Ethyl Alcohol is the generic name of Casino Regular. If symptoms persist, consult your doctor.
Welcome back to koolNews Primetime. Let's continue with our headlines. President Donald Trump is imposing broad tariffs on major U.S. trading partners, Canada, Mexico, and China, the White House said Saturday, citing an extraordinary threat from illegal immigration and drugs. Canadian and Mexican exports to the United States will face a 25% tariff, although energy resources from Canada will have a lower 10% levy. The duties on Canada begin Tuesday. Goods from China, which already face various rates of duties, will see an additional 10% tariff, said the White House. Trump is invoking the International Emergency Economic Powers Act in imposing the tariffs, with the White House saying the extraordinary threat posed by illegal aliens and drugs, including deadly fentanyl, constitutes a national emergency. The aim is to hold all three countries accountable to their promises of halting illegal immigration and stopping poisonous fentanyl and other drugs from flowing into our country, the White House added. Washington accused Mexico's government of having an intolerable alliance with drug trafficking groups. The announcement turns up upheaval across supply chains from energy to automobiles and foods. Trump has repeatedly expressed his love for TRIPS and has signaled that Saturday's action could be the first volley in further trade conflicts to come. This week, he pledged to impose duties on the European Union in the future. He has also promised TRIPS on semiconductors, steel, aluminum, as well as oil and gas. TRIPS are a powerful, proven source of leverage for protecting the national interests, the White House said. Trump in Florida for the weekend wrote on social media, "We need to protect Americans, and it is my duty as president to ensure the safety of all." I also forgot to mention that we are already in international headlines, so we're gonna head over to the next one as Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum angrily rejected an accusation by the United States Saturday that her government has an alliance with drug cartels and vowed to retaliate against Donald Trump's sweeping trips. Tensions between the closely connected neighbors soared after the White House said Trump would slap 25% trips on Mexican as well as Canadian goods because of illegal immigration and drug smuggling. Sheinbaum said she had told her economic minister, Marcelo Ebrard, to implement Plan B that we have been working on, which includes thrift and non-thrift measures in defense of Mexico's interest. Ebrard called Trump's trips a flagrant violation of the United States Free Trade Agreement with Mexico and Canada. Sheinbaum also hit back after Washington accused her government of having an intolerable alliance with drug trafficking groups. Sheinbaum wrote on social media platform X, "We categorically reject the slander made by the White House against the Mexican government about alliances with criminal organizations. If there is such an alliance anywhere, it is in the US gun shops that sell high-powered weapons to these criminal groups," she added. If the United States government and its agencies wanted to address the serious consumption of fentanyl in the country, they can combat the sale of narcotics on the streets of their main cities, which they don't do, and the money laundering generated by this illegal activity that has done so much harm to the population, Sheinbaum said. Although US politicians and analysts have previously alleged Mexican government collaboration with cartels, it is the first time that a formal accusation has been made, retired Mexican Democrat Agustin Gutierrez Canet said. It's really unprecedented that the US government has now formally linked the Mexican government to drug trafficking in an official document, he told AFP. Trump uses this narrative to pressure, but it should never be taken lightly, he added. Analysts said the trips imposed by Mexico's biggest trade partner would deal a heavy blow to Latin America's second largest economy. The United States bought more than 80% of Mexico's exports last year, according to official figures. Since exports to the US account for around 20% of the GDP, today's trips could plunge both the Canadian and Mexican economies into a recession later this year, the Capital Economics consultancy firm wrote in a note to clients. And across the board, thrift of 25% could lead to a drop in Mexican exports of around 12%, according to Gabriel Siller, head of economic analyst for the financial group Banco Base. Mexico's gross domestic product could fall by 4% in 2025 if the thrift remains in place all year, she warned. By the end of 2024, Mexico was on the verge of a recession. If this thrift lasts for several months, the Mexican economy will fall into a severe recession, Siller added. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will begin talks on the second phase to the Gaza ceasefire in Washington on Monday, his office said hours after the completion of the fourth hostage prisoner exchange of the traced. Netanyahu spoke with the US President's Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff on Sunday and agreed that negotiations would begin when they meet in Washington. A date for formal talks involving mediators and delegations from Hamas and Israel has not been set, with the 42-day first phase due to end next month. Netanyahu's office said Witkoff would talk to Qatar and Egypt key mediators before discussing with the Israeli premier steps to advance the negotiations, including dates for delegations to leave for talks. The second phase is expected to cover the release of the remaining capacitives and to include discussions on a more permanent end to the war, something several members of Netanyahu's government oppose. And Britain will become the first country to introduce laws against AI tools used to generate sexual abuse images, the government announced Saturday. The government will make it illegal to process, create, or distribute AI tools designed to generate sexualized images of children, punishable by up to 5 years in prison, Interior Minister Wajete Copper revealed. It will also be illegal to access AI pedophile manuals which teach people how to use AI to sexually abuse children, punishable by up to 3 years in prison. We know that sex predators' activities online often lead to them carrying out the most horrific abuse in person, said Cooper. The new laws are designed to keep our children safe online as technologies evolve. It is vital that we tackle child sexual abuse online as well as offline, she added. Children will be protected from the growing threat of predators generating AI images and from online sexual abuse as the UK becomes the first country in the world to create new AI sexual abuse offenses, said a government statement. And now, finally, into the showbiz news. With the first one being an unfortunate news. Veteran South Korean actress Lee Jo-shil has died at the age of 18. On Sunday, February 2, K entertainment news site Zombie reported that a representative from her agency, 1230 Culture, confirmed the sad news, stating actress Lee Jo-shil passed away on the morning of this day. The agency further revealed that her health had deteriorated approximately 3 months ago, leading to a diagnosis of stomach cancer following a hospital examination. Lee Jo-shil had previously been diagnosed with breast cancer in 1993, a battle she fought and won after more than a decade. And finally, Biliran Governor Gerard Roger Espina has urged the provincial board to pass an ordinance mandating all local radio stations in the province to play Biliranon music at least an hour daily. Espina said the initiative aims to preserve and promote the province's rich cultural heritage while supporting local artists. Espina said this is a step forward in ensuring that all local tenants receive the recognition and support they deserve. Under his proposal, all AM and FM radio stations in the province are required to allocate a 1-hour time slot each day exclusively for Biliranon music, defined as songs composed, written, or performed by Biliranon artists or those highlighting the identity of Biliran. At present, there are 2 existing FM stations across the province and are based at the provincial capital of Naval, Radio Natin Naval, and Loveco Naval Nice Radio. Espina also wanted the 1-hour slot to be scheduled between 6 a.m. and 10 p.m., with radio stations required to announce the time slot at least once per hour during the broadcast. Radio stations are also directed to submit monthly compliance reports to the Provincial Tourism Office detailing the songs aired and the time slots allocated. To assist radio stations in creating their playlists, the provincial government, through the PTO, will maintain a database of Biliran artists and their works. Penalties will be imposed for radio stations that will fail to comply with the directive. For the first offense, a written warning from the provincial government will be issued. In the next offense, the radio station will be required to pay a fine of 5,000 pesos. For the third and subsequent offenses, a fine of 10,000 pesos will be imposed and a potential suspension of the station's business permit for up to 6 months. The PTO was tasked to monitor the ordinance implementation. Citizens and organizations were also encouraged to report the radio station's failure to comply with the order. It is now 1 minute before 11 p.m. and I think that is all we have got here. So that brings us to the end of koolNews Primetime. We will return with more news headlines tomorrow, as we will be bringing back the afternoon newscast with koolNews at noon at 12 noon, along with the usual newscast with koolNews at 6 and koolNews Primetime at 10:30 p.m. Until then, I'm Caro. This has been koolNews Primetime. We will see you tomorrow, and you can also send us your comments, suggestions, and feedback through our email at tvh.philippines.news@gmail.com. Once again, this has been koolNews Primetime. We will see you tomorrow. Good night.